Cheli, how do you feel about Am I the Asshole posts? Have you found any juicy ones?
Okay, first of all.
Or can you come up with one?
I like them because there's some of them are just like, am I the asshole? I never told my boyfriend I loved him. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad. Am I the asshole? I fucking killed my ex-girlfriend's dog. And it's like, oh my God. Like there's
But the dog bit me. It's always like the weirdest like excuse, quote unquote. Yeah, it's weird.
I find it so funny.
Yeah, because some of them are so unhinged.
Mm-hmm. But I tend to side with the person who wrote it. Because, I mean, I feel like if you wrote an Am I the Asshole post, then I feel like you're empathetic. You know what I mean? Because you were like...
Sometimes. Not always. Because
I guess it depends.
Some of these guys will be like, am I the asshole for not finding my girlfriend attractive after giving birth like 2 days ago?
It's because I think about the one that was like, am I the asshole for cheating on my wife? And my wife.
My wife, yeah.
And basically he had said that he lost the spark in his relationship. Like he felt like there was no more chase. And so he had cheated on his wife with someone who was in his office. And they had already been...
always the coworkers.
I think they had been together for a long time and they had like one baby. And so then he felt really bad about it. And he was just like, wait, I do love my wife. And so he went home.
Wow.
Okay, well, let me finish.
It took him sleeping with someone else. Yes, bitch, you are the asshole.
He was. But he goes home and tells his wife. And his wife, he explained, like, she just lost, like, all the life in her eyes.
Oh, you brought this up before.
Yeah, and she was just kind of like, okay. Like, you're not going to do it again? It's like, nope. And then they never really loved like they used to. Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole? No, King.
No,
It's
King.
okay, King. Raise your head. Don't let that crown fall. No, I mean, I guess what I mean is, like, if you write one of those posts, I'm hoping you're empathetic because you're kind of just like, oh, shit. Doesn't make you not an asshole. You could still be an asshole and feel bad about it. Doesn't mean people should forgive you, but at least you realize what you did was wrong.
Right. But I also feel like some people probably post the most lucrative shit on there just so it almost feels like a competition, honestly. Yeah. I saw this one post today, but I don't think it was under Am I the Asshole, but it could be. It could work, honestly, where this guy divorced his wife or wants to divorce his wife because she breastfeed their son, their baby.
Why is that a bad thing?
Their baby. Because he explicitly told her that he did not want her to breastfeed their son because...
Like a jealousy thing?
I think so, yeah.
That's disgusting. That's so... Why would you be...
He's like jealous of the baby. His own fucking son.
You can't even formulate a joke because I'm over here trying to make the Will Smith reference to get your wife's whatever. What?
Get
like, why?
My wife's titty out your fucking mouth.
And he's just like, goo goo gaga. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. I can't. Okay, never mind. I take that back. They're all assholes on there.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it depends because, like, there are some sweet people out there that have just made little mistakes, and then there are some people who post things and they're not being that serious. Mm-hmm. It's like, am I an asshole for I guess getting like in a silly argument with a friend, and it's like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. They're just trying to make someone choose a side, but it's not like it's going to end a friendship.
Yeah, it could though.
No,
I feel like I'm sure some of those comments probably ignite a little bit more heat between the two parties. I think so. You don't think that if we posted something about us?
No, I don't think so. No, because love conquers all.
You're right. We'd be like, wow. Don't talk about my friend like that.
I know. And then I do become the asshole. I like find all these fucking people.
It just works out that way. But, Cheli, do you think that a story where it actually starts off with an Am I the Asshole post regarding a dog who is, let's just say, not the cutest, being named after someone's alleged best friend for a bit of a bitch move, maybe. I don't know. We can discuss that later. Do you think that could potentially fix your life?
Yes, I do.
Welcome to another episode of the Book Fix podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Yajaira.
And I'm your host, Cheli. And today we are going to be talking about Just for the Summer by Abby
Jimenez.
Which
is a part of a series, but every book is its own thing. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one I had read, it's Part of Your World, which I think that's what the series is called. I think it's called Part of Your World. So this one is the third one in the series.
It's funny, when I was looking for this book, I saw that Abby Jimenez was also part of the Improbable Meet Cutes.
Yeah,
I was going to ask you if you wanted to read it.
I'm so down. Is it? Which one is her book? I don't remember the title.
I don't remember it either, but I saved it so I could show it to you later.
Okay, well, I can't wait.
Okay, but this book you told me is very talked about.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I've never really seen this book.
Really?
I've heard of the title and I've heard of the author, but I feel like just by me passing by things. But I mean, I had no idea. I did not read the summary. I did not check the page count. I was just going in blind.
Really?
So I knew nothing going into this.
So how did you feel when it started off with a post? The prologue is basically a post on Reddit. Am I the asshole? And it's written by one of our main characters, Justin.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't mind it. I actually really like when I like seeing characters in books use social media, which is like a weird thing, but I like when characters text each other. I like when characters post things online and the other one reads it. So I really liked seeing this Reddit post because that's so fucking relatable to now too, because people read that type of shit. So
I feel like I don't particularly seek out like online thing. I don't know, things with like texting and shit like that. But it is sometimes interesting, and I feel like it really worked in this book. And then I really like it because it kept coming back to the, no, you are an asshole. No, you're not an asshole. Like, I don't know. It just
you are.
It kept circling back to that, and I thought it was so fucking funny.
Can you describe Justin's post?
So in the post, he basically explains that, well, actually, it starts off in a weird way. I don't know. Like, I didn't know where the story was going to go either.
Yeah.
So our main character, Justin, explains that he has like a curse. And the curse reminds me of that one movie, Good Luck Chuck.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And basically when he dates someone seriously or seriously enough, as soon as they break off, that person finds their soulmate like right away. Right? Okay. So it's happened a couple times, and it actually even happened with his best friend, Brad, because Justin was dating someone, but when they broke it off, this person that he was dating ended up falling in love with his best friend Brad. And he was just like, oh, what the fuck? Okay, cool, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But the problem is that because Brad was so in love with, oh my God, I forgot her name, Faith, right? Okay, because he put hope in the post, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
But so Faith and Brad are together now, and they're in love. And because they're so in love, Brad ends up screwing Justin over in their apartment lease, and he ends up basically being like, sorry, I gotta go because I'm so in love with Faith.
With your ex.
Sorry.
That's funny.
And so, just out of spite and, from his sadness, what Justin ends up doing is he ends up buying the ugliest dog he can find and names him after his best friend.
And he ends his post with saying, am I petty? Yes, but am I the asshole?
I thought that was so funny. Oh, but they also bring up that the apartment that he's staying in currently has like this huge ass billboard of like a toilet king.
Yeah.
And it's just so huge and it's so annoying and just,
gross.
I don't know. It's like this whole, it's very highlighted in the post.
Yeah. And how it's what he sees every day. And he's like, damn, I'm really left in the fucking trenches out here.
Shout out to my best friend, but also fuck you. And I also thought it was so funny that in that prologue, Justin describes that his best friend's mom doesn't want to see him until he changes the dog's name.
Oh, that's
but
so
he's like,
funny.
sorry, I can't. That's
so
his name,
funny.
Brad.
Oh my gosh. So this story, it's in dual perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So we see both of the love interest perspectives, and it does start with Emma.
The first chapter.
So Emma is a traveling nurse, meaning that she signs contracts for like 4 to 6 weeks at a time and stays in different cities and different states, helping at the whatever hospital they're at.
Yeah.
And she does it with her best friend, Maddie. And this is just kind of the life that they've lived. So the way that they have it set is that one of them will choose a location, a destination, and then when that one is up, the other one will choose the destination. So they are finishing up one of their contracts, and Maddie's the first one to be like, hey, look at this post. And Emma reads it and she's like, oh my God, he's me.
Because the post has gone viral at this point. And the reason why Maddie brings it up is because Emma believes that she has the same curse where anytime she dates someone, after they break up, they end up finding their soulmate. And so Maddie's kind of like, oh, well, maybe you should ask him or like hit him up or something, you know?
Yeah. You know what's something that I didn't think about until like right now? It's crazy to me that Justin had all these ex-girlfriends that he was still really close to. But you never really see Emma's.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that you did, because she just really talks about it. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, but I feel like her curse is more of her trauma. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. She wouldn't have stayed connected to them.
Yeah, and plus she's also a traveling nurse, so I don't think it's that easy to.
I think it's funny though that when she reaches out to him, he's just like, you're not a reporter, right? Like, can you prove to me you're not a reporter? Because everyone's been trying to find out my identity. And she's like, no, I would never do that. And then Maddie automatically is like, his name is Justin, okay, and then searches the web and is like, found his Instagram, found his LinkedIn, found the obituary for his dad's death, and it's like, God fucking damn.
Yeah, no, she was fucking quick. It was kind of impressive, honestly. I thought it was cool, and I thought Maddie was a really good best friend for her because she was a ride or die. And so she reaches out to him, and they basically end up sending each other pictures, or she sends him a picture of herself in her scrubs. And he's like, okay, fine. I guess she's not a reporter.
I really like the start of this relationship because they keep this back and forth for like a day and then they don't talk for several days. But both of them, in both perspectives, you can see we're super affected by it.
Yeah.
Because it was like finally finding someone who goes through something similar as me. And I think Justin is the first one to talk about it with his friends. And his friends are kind of like, well, like, what if you date her? And it's like, well, I don't even know where she lives. She could be.
Well, it's because they kind of describe that he's the only single one in the friend group.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like annoying that he's the only one without a partner. And so I think it was Brad who brought it up. Brad was kind of like, well, if you guys date each other, then doesn't that mean the curse just cancels out? And he's like, no. But, well, Justin doesn't even really believe in the curse. He thinks it's just like a coincidence.
Yeah, but then they also bring up like, if it doesn't cancel out, what if you just both date
and then fall in love
and then break up and then fall in love with your soulmate?
Oh,
like you could just do that. And then he's just kind of like, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt because she did look cute in the picture that she sent me. And so then he just randomly messages her like, yeah, doctors told me I shouldn't be using Q-tips. Is that true?
I know.
Like trying to
Can you let me know?
So I thought it was cute that like he said that and he was like, okay, so what you doing later?
So like, where do you work exactly? Like, where are you at? Any chance you can come over here?
Oh my gosh. I thought it was really cute though, because they're both, I don't know if you felt the same way. They were both so brave over text. Yeah. But my God.
Yeah.
He was out here just like putting it all out. And she was just kind of like, you know what? Fuck it. And then she goes up to her friend Maddie and is like, I know you wanted to go to Hawaii.
No, girl, it was like the day of. They were like supposed to pack their bags. And Maddie was super excited getting her bikinis and shit. And he lives in what, Minnesota?
Yeah.
And so it's cold as fuck. And so I don't know. I don't know exactly what the turning point was. Emma was like, you know what? I have to see this through. Like, I have to at least like, because they came up with the plan to go on 4 dates in those 4 weeks that she was going to be there. And they had to like kiss and stuff because you have to do certain things in order for, you know, this curse to reveal itself. And so she brings it up to Maddie and she's like, I have to see
the
if
thing
it happens.
That changed Maddie's mind was the fact that the Airbnb that they had chosen, you had to use a boat to get there. And Maddie was like, I get to be a captain? And it's like, yes. And she's like, okay, fine, I'm sold. And like the place that they were staying at, it was its own boathouse, but it was super nice and it looked very like antique, vintage.
But it wasn't actually a boat though.
It was
you would have to get there through boat though, which is so weird. I don't know. I don't really get it.
But she was down for it. And when they get there, honestly, it sounded too good to be true because like there was a maid that was there. She was really nice.
Funny.
What?
When the maid came out and she was like obviously Mexican, I didn't know she was a maid. I thought she was like the owner of the house. I was like, oh hell yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah, queen. And then I realized, I was like, oh, she's a fucking maid. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. How did you feel? Because
when she was like, pinche pendeja.
Yeah.
I fucking love that shit.
I kind of wish she was more in the story because she was only to like yell and be like, I fucking hate these bitches out here. I wish she was like, you know,
more loving.
A voice.
Yeah.
A voice that they can listen to.
I guess that would have been nice, but I feel like the story was so focused on building the relationships and also building, I guess, like the main characters' lives.
Yeah.
I don't know. It could have worked.
Yeah.
But I don't think. Well, I think it would have been way longer if they would have done that.
Well, Maria showed them the house and it was like, oh my God, it's perfect. And as soon as she leaves, like the water is apparently like hard water, so it smells rusty.
Yeah, the rustic
gross.
Smell.
It like
I couldn't live like
your
that.
Hair. Oh my God. Have you ever washed your hair with hard water?
No.
I have. I don't recommend.
Oh wait, no, I have.
It's horrible. And so then there was also a moment where Maddie was going to use a hairdryer and all the lights turned off and they called Maria and it's like, oh yeah, electricity there sucks. Don't connect two things at once. It was like, God damn.
And she was like,
place is falling apart.
You have to unplug the toaster. That's why.
Yeah. But I thought it was really sweet that it was their first day there and they parked the boat on the fucking dock and they were walking around. And Justin had texted Emma like, hey, how was your flight? Was it safe? And she was like, oh my God, Maddie, take a picture of me with this seat. And she's like, why? It's like, just trust me. And it's a picture of the Toilet King on the seat. And she holds up 3 because she had asked him like, tell me to hold up a number of fingers. And as soon as she sends it, he's already calling and he's like, where are you at? Oh my God, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And it's so sweet. There was a part that I don't remember when it says it, but I hella agree with it. When Maddie was like, if they cared enough, they would do it.
Yeah.
So he's like the embodiment of that.
Yeah. And what I loved about Maddie is that she was on it from the very beginning. Like she was like, I thought it was so fucking funny, her red flag list, where she was like, if he doesn't have a bed frame, don't fucking trust him. Don't trust him. They're close to the floor. The shittier the man.
And didn't they also mention like
the J names?
Yeah.
If it's a J name, oh, it's Justin. J names are red flags.
That's so funny. But
she was a really good friend.
She was, but he was so good. Like even before they met, he sent like a pre-date survey to her. It's like, okay, what do you want for the date? How do you want me to greet you?
I thought that was so funny. No, not funny. I thought that was so thoughtful because it was like, when do you want to have the date? Morning, lunch, night. What kind of like attire do you want? Casual, fancy, business casual, business formal, like shit like that. And yeah, like, how do you want me to greet you? Hug, high five, kiss on the cheek,
like the French way. Like, oh my God, he's so sweet.
He was a really, really funny, charming book boyfriend.
And what I appreciated too was that the first moment when they met and he like opened the door for, I don't remember how it was, but he had gotten them Starbucks and he just like dropped it on her. It wasn't a lot, but dropped like a good amount on her. And he was like, fuck, oh my God. And he didn't want to say.
Freaking out.
He didn't want to say, I'm nervous. Mm-hmm. So he was just like, sorry. Oh my gosh, sorry. And then she was like, don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
It's good. I got wipies.
Yeah. And she managed to get a lot of it out. So it was fine.
If this was ever a movie, I imagine that she has those bags. You know those friends that have that purse that holds fucking everything in there? It's like, oh yeah, I have the thing just for this.
Yeah.
That's the type of person she is.
Yeah, she is like that. I think it's also because she's a nurse. So
I love that.
I think it was funny how when they were agreeing to like the terms of how many times they were going to go on dates and stuff, they bring up sex. And I just think it's so fucking funny where he was like, you know what? I'm just being thorough. It's fine. I'm a sex on the 5th date kind of guy. So you've lucked out.
That's so funny. I thought it was really cute too. That whole kiss after every date. Mm-hmm. But then he was like, but what type of kiss? Like closed mouth, open mouth? Like what do you want?
And she said that she had to be kissed. So she couldn't do the kiss thing. She had to be kissed. And it had to be an open mouth kiss.
That's so fucking funny.
I was thinking, like, how the hell do you know this, though? Like, what the... Are you saying that so some of these guys, you only did that's it, and they didn't find their soulmates?
That's so... Well, the reason that they decided 4 dates, too, is because she said for it to work, they have to have a month-long relationship. Mm-hmm. So, and she was staying there for 6 weeks, but that was 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And she was like, so are we just done after 4 weeks? And he's like, well, I mean...
I guess so. Damn, that's real sad. But something else to bring up, I think it was before she got there, or maybe when she got there, she had spoken to her mother on the phone, and you can immediately tell that Maddie fucking hates Emma's mom. And we quickly learned that they met through foster care.
Yes.
Because Maddie's parents wanted to adopt Emma, but Emma didn't want that because she kind of always had like hope that her mother would be more in her life.
Yeah.
And so when she's talking to her mom, Amber, she kind of just mentions like, oh, by the way, I'm going to be staying in Minnesota here, blah, blah, blah. And the mom, Amber, was like, oh my God, that's where I grew up, or that's where she lived for some time or something. And so she knew where she was staying at. And so when they got to, the boat house, the boat, whatever, her mom shows up.
But it's not, that's after she's had her date with Justin.
Yeah.
So her date with Justin, her first date, it was literally, I thought it was funny that they showed up at his ex-girlfriend's place. And it was like, oh yeah, she fosters kittens. So go ahead, just sit down. Not weird thing at all, but I thought it was really sweet. That's why
I feel like that would piss me off. Like, we're at your ex's house. Are you kidding me?
But Emma, being the person she is and emotionally distant as she was just kind of, oh, whatever. So she hangs out with all these kittens. They go out to eat. They have a really good time. Talking is as easy as their phone calls were. And they're going back to the boathouse, and she sees Maddie on the dock.
Well, I think he wanted to hang out more, right? But she was kind of like, oh, I start early tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, I think it was nice to see that she was still kind of like keeping him at an arm's length.
But then as soon as they get off and they see Maddie standing with another woman, she's like, holy shit, that's my mom. And he already kind of knows a little bit because they kind of divulged like, yeah, my mom just kind of...
They both seem to they both have like issues with their mothers, but hers is more serious. But yeah, she kind of like mentioned it a little bit that she had a rough childhood, but she didn't give him that much details.
But the mom is there and is fucking like arm around the fucking Airbnb owner and is like,
his name's Neil.
Babe,
she's just like, oh
my
daughter.
God. I came to surprise you, and I met just the sweetest man.
Like, can you believe it? The way that we were destined.
And Maddie's like, she's pulling her shit again. Oh my gosh. And so she invites everyone there. Well, Maddie and Emma to come eat lobster with them in the big boat. And
in their house.
I don't know what it looked like. I thought it was like a boathouse.
Oh, I pictured like
the ones that don't move.
Mansion.
Well, good for him. Boat mansion.
So how come when she was not to,
No, go ahead.
Not to rush in, but like when she was like throwing shit, wasn't she throwing them out into the grass?
Yeah, it's like one of those boathouses that are part of the water, but it has a bridge. You want me to draw it out for you?
I don't know this lifestyle, so apparently you're more aware of these boathouse situations.
I've watched DuckTales, but I know that when all of that was happening, Emma started feeling kind of like, she would never say embarrassed in her mind, but she was like, I feel like bad because Justin's right here and this is all going on. But Justin's like, I'll stay. Don't even worry about it. I'm staying.
Yeah, he kind of told Maddie like, oh, you can just go back home and I'll be with her. Because it almost feels more of like a double date also. And so, yeah. And I thought it was so sad how excited Emma was that her mom was there, because she was like, oh my God, now we can finally like see each other more, hang out, rekindle. But immediately when they're like the four of them are together, Amber is not paying attention to her at all. Like she's just fawning over Neil.
And Justin notices and mentions like, wow, you haven't seen your mom in 2 years and this is how she acts.
Yeah.
And Emma's just like, ugh. I hate that he said that. I thought it was really sweet that they had a moment where they both walked away and they were wearing swim clothes. So it was clothes that they had borrowed from Neil. And
because they were at the pool.
Yeah. And Emma's was too tight. No, you can have a pool on a boat.
I'm still so fucking confused. Yeah, on a cruise.
I need you to explain to me the conversation they have when they're alone so I can draw you a picture. Do you remember when they're sitting?
So if I remember correctly, they kind of just sit because they're looking for Amber's luggage. They're looking for it because what the fuck?
Keep going.
Is that your boat?
Yes.
Okay, anyway. So they're looking for Amber's luggage because Amber had told Emma that she had found something very, very precious to her, which was like a little unicorn. It was a unicorn, right? And it was like really old, and when Emma was a child, that was like the constant thing in her life was this unicorn. And so she loved it so much. And so she was really excited because she wanted to be reunited with the unicorn. And so they were looking for the luggage, but she kind of just sat there. Emma just sat down and Justin sat with her, and they kind of just had a moment. And I think this was the moment when Justin brings up like, oh my God, you haven't seen her in a while and she's not really even talking to you or paying attention to you. And she kind of like briefly touches on the fact that, you know, her mom was never around in her life and she kind of had to like raise herself.
Yes.
And yeah, and I don't know.
I just really like this moment because the reason they open up so quickly is he basically says like, no, she says, if I told you to tell me whatever's in your head, would you be honest with me?
No, she said, will you like tell me the truth if I ask you?
And he's like, hell yeah. Oh, I'm an open book.
And doesn't she ask him like, oh, how are you feeling? Or what are you thinking?
What are you thinking? And he's just kind of like, I mean, I feel like I like you more than just what's going on right now. And I also feel like I should have kissed you, but we kind of lost our moment. I also really like, I see that you're uncomfortable in your swimsuit and I feel like I want you to take it off, but like not in a sexual way, but like if it was a sexual way, like who would be mad?
That would be chill. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be upset, you know?
It's funny because it feels like he's rambling and then he just stops and it's just like, oh, okay, that was a lot. And he's like, okay, well, what are you thinking? And then that's when she goes like, I just am embarrassed that you had to see my mom act like that. And I forget. That's basically like her biggest part. I think she also said that she wanted to be kissed. And and then she had mentioned like, and I feel like this place we're in is like the perfect place for you to kiss me, but whatever.
But who's rushing? Not me. Cheli, what did you draw?
Okay, so this is how I imagined. I will send this to whoever's editing. It's probably you. I'm sorry, but
I don't get it.
So it's
okay.
Explain.
Insert picture here. I think this is the bridge connected to the boat.
Yeah.
So it's all around water.
So yeah. Well, I messed up. So this is land. This is land, and that's the street, and that's where like the Uber would pick them up. Okay. Insert new picture here. So I think that the boat is in water, but it's like shallow water. So it's kind of like how a pier has like the sticks that hold it like in place. this would have the same thing.
Okay.
And then there's like a cemented like stairs going down, and I'm guessing those are where all the roses are, and then just kind of like the pier part that connects, and then probably just like another pier right here where the other boat that they take over goes, and then that's the little unicorn floaty. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Boat houses are a thing, because honestly, like, they could also just
delete it.
Yes, no, I didn't. It could also just look like that, and then it's on like a wooden thing.
That's what I pictured, but I'm probably wrong.
And then it's probably like, and it goes down, and then they have that entire down area too, where like the seats are.
Okay.
Roses.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think so. I think I get it now.
That's kind of what I imagine. I imagine he owned a lot of the land that was on the beach because he was very well off.
Yeah, he was like a surgeon.
But it really sucked because the way that Emma was describing all this was like, this is mom before her meltdown. And she kept saying like,
well, not Emma. Emma was super like delusional, respectfully.
Yeah, that's what she kept going like, but it's different now. Mom's better, mom's changed.
No,
mom's
but the thing is that because her mom told her that she was going to therapy.
Yeah.
And she also was super like she was acting like she was in her Zen moment. And so Emma really believed or really wanted to believe that her mom was better. And so she would tell Maddie like, no, like, you don't understand. Like, even when she was telling Justin about the way that she had to raise herself, she would make excuses for her. Like, she'd be like, oh, well, you don't understand. Like, she's had a hard life. Like, she's had to, deal with this and that. And like, she got pregnant and she didn't even know.
And Justin was like, Emma, that's fucked up. Like, you should not have gone through that. She's like, no, it's okay.
Yeah, like,
it's okay.
So any chance she would get, she would just make excuses for her mom, even with Maddie. And Maddie immediately would get upset because she has seen Amber for years as well.
There was even that situation she talked about as a kid where her mom was like, okay, here's $20. I'm going to go for a few days. You buy food if you need it. And she ran out of money because her mom was gone for weeks. So she ended up breaking into a neighbor's yard.
Oh, that was so sad.
Carrots.
Yeah, because they had a carrot garden. And it was to the point where like she turned yellow because that's what happens if you have too many carrots. And now she can't stand carrots.
Yep. And I was like, fuck, this girl is so damaged. Yeah. I don't know if you made the connection too, but I was like, damn, I feel like I'm having a big brain bromance book club moment. Like, the thing that's blocking her from love is something else. Like, there's that blockage. That's why they can't reach her. Yeah. So she's going to have to spiral first before this can become like an official thing.
Or just help herself?
Yeah, but I feel like you have to break yourself down first before you get better. That's what I mean. So I felt like she had to go through something really big. And I was like, damn. And the fact that Maddie kept bringing up, like, your mom's going to blow up. Oh, and the other thing that sucked, too, is Neil, the fucking Airbnb owner, is also the surgeon they work under.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I mentioned that he was a surgeon, but I didn't know where we should say that. It's in the same hospital as them, which Maddie was immediately pissed off because she was like, oh, she's gonna fuck over our job because she's so unstable. But Emma was like, no, like, this could be her love, we don't know.
I felt so bad for Emma the whole time. My God, she really was delusional. But Justin was so good to her. Like, he was so... There was a point where she was like, wow, I've never had someone who's just so willing to listen to everything I'm saying. And he was. They would call and he'd be like, okay, what'd you do first? What'd you do second? What'd you do third? Like, he was.
Yeah, he was very meticulous about like her day.
And after their date, after the first date, he had sent an after date survey. And one of the questions was like, had it not been for the curse, 1 out of 10, would you date Justin again? And she put 10. Fuck me up.
That was cute. Oh my God. We didn't mention it, but on the pre-date survey, there was reviews at the bottom.
Oh my God.
It was so fucking funny because it was like, oh, Justin is just like so handsome and so amazing. And then a real person.
Well, that's the one, a real person one was like, he's a hero. He saved my whole family.
From a burning building.
Yeah. I thought that was so funny. And then the other ones were like all of his exes, but they were like, I'm just doing this because he fucking asked.
Yeah. He weirdly asked me this.
Oh my gosh. He's so charming.
It's weird though that he's friends with his exes.
You think it's weird?
Yeah.
Well, his exes all dated his friends. So
that's weird.
His friends. He should walk in there and be like, first of all, you're welcome. I don't think it's weird. I don't think it's weird because of the type of person he is.
Just wait.
I guess you're right. I just think that Justin, he just has a lot of love to give. But
that's a red flag.
That being said, though, his home life. So he lives by himself in that apartment that he co-leased with his friend Brad. And it's so funny because there was this one part where his mom and his mom's best friend Lee were like, how's that going? And he's like, yeah, he owes me like $7,000. They're like, for that apartment that much? He's like, no, that's emotional damage. Like, he owes me a lot.
I thought that was so funny. And then even though Lee, Brad's mom, was like, well, when are you going to change the name? When he gives me $7,000, I'll gladly change his name then.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But Lee, but his home life is kind of not going well because his dad had passed away from drunk driving. Being hit by someone who was drunk driving.
Yeah, he was hit by somebody. He wasn't doing that.
And that same time when that happened, his mom got in trouble for embezzling $200,000.
Yeah, damn. Which was crazy because she had a certain date when she would leave and then she would go to prison for 6 years. And he was just upset. He was just really upset with her because he was like, how could she do this to us? Because he has 3 siblings. I forgot about something. I know we're talking about serious stuff right now because we're going to talk about Justin's home life. But I thought it was so fucking funny that he mentioned how Brad works at Trader Joe's and he would say like, damn, you know, I miss having free groceries. And then he says, I do love Trader Joe's. Nothing like a grocery store that makes you want to visit another grocery store right after.
That's really funny.
You're not going to get everything at Trader Joe's.
No,
like, there's no way.
Oh my gosh, you're not. So Justin's home life, because of his mom embezzling all that money, she is sentenced to go to prison on a certain date. And he's over here trying to be as cordial as possible, but he is angry at his mom because it's like,
and it's very obvious.
And it sucks too because he's around 27, 28.
He's 29.
Okay. He is 29 and he basically in 1 week's time has to adopt all 3 of his siblings.
Yeah.
And just take over the house.
And he mentions to Emma that Lee, the best friend, could have adopted them, but then she doesn't live too close, right?
Yeah.
There was like a reason why he didn't want that, or it just wouldn't have worked out better that way. So now he has to take the responsibility of all 3 of the siblings, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Because the youngest, she felt really young. I don't remember how old she was.
I don't remember either, but she was barely starting preschool. So she was really young.
Oh, yeah. So he did say that he had to put her into school earlier because he needed the time.
Oh, gosh. It really sucks. I think it was their second date. Well, it was their date 1.5 where she was kind of like, I don't remember what the context was, but he was like, why don't you just come over? Let's just have spaghetti. And she was like, okay, fine. That works out. And she really didn't want to meet the family, but she ends up meeting all of the siblings. Like they all come in at different times and they're all so different. Chelsea's the youngest and she's just a baby. Like she literally is so sweet. And then there is, Alex was the middle child and he was kind of like the golden retriever. And then Sarah was the eldest and she was just
like the black cat.
I loved her. She was just an angsty teenager.
Yeah.
She walked in and she was like, I hate everything. I was with my friend, but I didn't want to be with my friend and now I'm here. It's like, okay, do you want to eat? No, I don't want to eat. I already ate. I hate this.
It's like, were you listening to me? I was with my friend.
Oh my God.
You don't think that we ate?
Justin's like, if you calm down, you're telling me to calm down. It's like, oh, teenagers.
God.
So I just thought it was really sweet that she met the entire family because it's very different than what she grew up with
no family.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting. No, I get it, but I thought it was interesting that was one of the main things that kind of held her back at first, because when she realized that he was gonna take
all of them,
basically be everybody's father, she was kind of like, oh, this isn't gonna work out then, like there's no way. Like she was more focused on the initial plan of only doing the 4 dates and not really getting anything more out of it. But she pretty much got close to them very quickly.
She did, because she's so good with people. I really like how slow this relationship went. And it's funny because Justin started to tweak a few things too. And he was like, you know what? We said 4 dates, 4 kisses, open mouth kisses that I initiated, and then a breakup. What if I just never kiss her then?
Yeah. Like, he had not kissed her. And she was kind of like, I think she would bring it up. And he was like, well, I mean, I know you're thinking about it.
It's funny because the first time they kiss, I think it is after their second date.
Oh, wait. Before they kiss. Okay. I thought it was so fucking funny because after he leaves her after a date, he just kisses her forehead, and then she texts him all like upset, not like seriously upset, just kind of annoyed, and she was like, hey, forehead kiss guy.
Everyone knows you like that now.
Everyone addresses you that way now.
And he's like, wait, you're obsessed with me?
Wait, you talk about me?
No, I thought that kiss was cute because they were actually going to kiss, but then they got interrupted by literally everyone. So then it was just a forehead kiss, and she was like, my lips are down here. And he's like, yeah, but
my heart is right here.
I hear forehead kisses are all the rage right now. But it was cute because then the day after, so the mom ends up going, or the mom ends up getting really drunk with Lee. The best friend. And so
before she gets taken
to on the 3rd date, or I guess this is date 2.5, Emma and Justin are spending the day together, and then he gets a call and is like, hey, this is Lee, I'm with your mom, we're both fucking drunk, if you could please just come pick us up. And he's like, I'm literally on a date. And then the mom's like, oh, it's okay, sweetie, we'll figure it out.
I'll walk home.
It's like, you literally only have one shoe. Like, we can't walk home. And so then after wanting to avoid it, Emma was like, no, yeah, it's chill, we can pick up your mom.
Because she said that she was interested. She was like, I want to see what goes down now that she's drunk.
Yeah. And when they met, the mom, of course, was worried about everything that was going to happen. And there was a point where her and Lee were laughing, and then they immediately started sobbing. Yeah. And Emma's like, actually, I've worked at a women's prison, and you're gonna meet a lot of cool people. Like, it's not gonna be as bad as you think it is. And then the mom's like, oh wait, slay, wait, what?
She's like, I'm gonna make best friends.
I've been wanting this.
We're gonna braid each other's hair. Is that what you're telling me?
So it's funny because Emma kind of just makes situations better, and she has this belief where it's like, don't deal with things with anger, always deal with it in empathy. So,
which I thought was so interesting because she actually brought that up pretty early on in the book. And that was one of like the first things that she told Justin when they had met. And he was like, it's so hard to be empathetic when my mom is like abandoning me with everybody. And
I think that after they drop off the mom, at that point, she's like, what are you thinking about? And it's like, well, I'm thinking that I carry a lot of anger after what happened. And he was like, well, you have to realize, like, you know, she did this probably out of hurt too. Like, she was hurt and had nowhere else to turn to. And then he was like, never really thought about it like that. And then started to feel like an asshole because, like,
he was like, damn, am I the asshole?
I am the asshole. But she was like, no, but you didn't know, you know? So.
And she would tell him, you're not the asshole.
No, it's good. So, their date ends, and then I think he goes home. It's like a few days pass, but he goes home. His mom's no longer there, says goodbye to everyone, and it's really sad. Yeah. And the friends are like, you know what? what? Why not today? Let's remodel the house. We're getting all the kids out of there. You out of there. Go stay at Sky Mall and just like fucking go crazy. And so they leave, and he calls Emma and is like, hey, crazy thing happened where I'm at like this basically a water park with the kids because my friends are remodeling. Just really wish you were here, you know?
And she's like, look behind you.
I know, it's so funny because she was like, well, what if I said I was here? And then there's like nothing. And the next line is her like, did you just fist pump? Like,
yeah. Like a little like, I don't know I forgot what the word is.
Fist pump.
Fist bump?
Pump.
Fist pump.
Yeah. Yes. I was like, did you just say? He's like, how do you know that?
And he's like, where are you behind me?
Where the fuck are you? No, but it was really sweet because the kids all had a lot of fun. Maddie was there, and Maddie would take Chelsea so that he could hold Emma's hand and all this. But by the end of it, Emma and Maddie are in the car, and Maddie's like, oh, you like him.
She's like, you got it bad.
And that boy, he's like in love with you. Like, I hate that puppy dog shit, but he was so cute the whole time.
I thought it was so cute that Maddie really, really was writing for her best friend because she literally took charge and would keep the kids away, or like not keep them away, but she would like go more forward ahead of the couple, so Justin and Emma, so that they can have like more time to actually talk to each other. And then even after the date, so she was like, wait, you didn't even get to kiss him. She was like, you know what? Conveniently, I left my purse in the stroller, so we're going back.
So then they go back, and then she was like, well, I'm not going to kiss him in front of you, so it's not going to work. And she's like, get out, like, get out of my car. And then she's like, okay, shit. And so she gets out, and then it's funny because Maddie drives away while Justin comes out. I was like, where the fuck is she going?
Yeah.
And she's like, I believe we've been set up.
Yeah.
Like,
we've been set up. I definitely did not want this. I did not plan for this. But I mean, while putting lip gloss on.
But it's so cute because it happens so quickly where he just like holds her face and like brings her in and just kisses her. And she's not, she was expecting another forehead kiss.
Yeah.
But it was a closed mouth kiss.
And but it was like a little heated a little bit. So then they pull away and she's just in shock. But he's like,
okay, bye.
Later, girl.
Later. Something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And she's like, you can't just leave me like that. I was like,
look at me leaving you like that.
I know. And he leaves, and she's just like, oh my God. And I think his new nickname is like the kiss and run guy.
Yeah.
And so it's just so, dude, their fucking relationship is so sweet.
Yeah. I really appreciated, like you said, that it was more of a slow burn because it felt so like natural.
Yeah.
But you could tell that they were like really falling for each other. And I mean, I think they both did have a moment of like love at first sight, but it still was slow for them.
It's funny because like this story is so out there, you know, like you're not gonna randomly reach out to an am I the asshole guy, but also like it's something that I could see happening as well, only because this story, although it was pushing the relationship forward, I liked where their life got in the way for both of them because it was realistic. It was like, yeah, I do like you, but I can't give up these kids because they're my my brothers and my sisters. Like I can't do that. And her whole like just like her trauma, because that's not something that's solved in a day, you know? So her dealing with that and also dealing with her mom, who is like as happy as she could fucking ever be.
But never fucking reaches out to her.
Yeah.
I feel like we should move it a little bit more forward.
Okay.
So what basically breaks them up, or for a little bit anyway, is that she realizes that she's afraid. She's terrified. And even Maddie points it out. She mentions to Justin, just so you know, she's probably going to run. That's just what she does. When she gets too close to someone who's not me, she runs. And so she kind of just tells him, you know what? No, he brings it up. He brings up, is it because of my brothers and sisters that you don't want something serious? Like for real, real?
The thing that happens, like when that is brought up, is because they are having a very heated, like open mouth kiss at the dock before they get to her place. And she kind of makes like a little comment like, are we going to go back to your apartment where the air mattress is? Because that's all that's there. And he's like, oh, yeah, we're doing that. And they're like moving. They're like getting ready to go. And she was like, yeah, I hope you're okay with casual sex.
Oh, yeah.
And then it all stops.
It was so sad because he was very excited.
Yeah.
And then immediately you could tell that it
like drained. And then she was like, what? Like, what's up? And then he was like, in his head, he was like, does she not feel like this is more?
No, but he does say that. He's like, do you not? And then he stops himself.
Yes.
That was so fucking sad.
That's where they bring up, like, is it because of the kids? Is it because... And she's just like, no, it's just, I'm not...
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not staying here.
And then they had always mentioned, like, it was just, like, you know...
Well, I think
casual.
She would mention it more. He would kind of just, like, ignore it.
And I don't remember if it's at this part, but he says, like, I like you. And I feel like I like you more than like.
And I like you more than you like me.
Yeah. And so then she doesn't say anything. And he leaves and she goes back home. And then she gets hella sick.
Yeah, it's like really, really bad. Like diarrhea, throwing up, constantly throwing up.
Yeah.
And so she's in a state of like haze.
Yeah.
And she's in her home or whatever, her boat, whatever the fuck it is.
House, yeah.
She's alone, and then in her haze, it's really sad because the whole time she's wishing that her mom would take care of her, and like just thinking like, damn, even when I was a child, like I'd have to take care of myself. Like she was never there for me, so she was like calling her, but her mom didn't answer, and then she ends up calling Justin, and he answers, and she's just kind of like out of it, but she mentions that she's really, really sick.
And she hangs up.
And then she hangs up. And so he ends up going. But
like there is no boat to take him to her. So he sees a little pool floaty, a unicorn pool floaty that the mom was using. And he's like, fuck it. And gets on it and gets a paddle. And paddles himself to...
Dude, I would fucking fall.
Dude, I just imagine, because it was 30 minutes of paddling.
Yeah.
Nah, I would have been 5 minutes in like, you know what? 3 dates. It ain't that much.
It ain't that serious.
Can you imagine if she was perfectly fine and then like, dude, you know, he can't check his phone. He's paddling and scared. And you're just watching and he's like, Emma, like I'm coming. Yeah. But he gets there.
But I think you could tell. You could tell that she was really sick.
But he gets there, breaks in through the window, and is automatically taking care of her. Calls one of his exes, who gives her like an IV. And
his bitches and his fucking exes. Oh my god.
Ex number 4 maybe. And so he calls the ex, and like she slowly starts to get better. And I really like the part where she wakes up at 3 a.m. And she's looking around and she doesn't see Justin. And she was like, well, what did I expect? Like, he has kids now. He has responsibilities. He's not just going to stay here for me. And when she looks out her door, the little bench that's on the side, he's sleeping there because he didn't leave. And she wakes him up and is just like, come to bed with me. And they do.
And she fucking gets him sick.
Yeah, then he gets it. Yeah. But it's not as bad. Can I just say, I really like the parts of the story where Justin would step up in the parts where her mom wouldn't.
Yeah.
So there was this one part we didn't really talk about. It's so small.
Oh, the lunch.
Yeah, where the mom goes into Emma's workplace and is like, where's Neil? Where's my baby? Oh, I made him lunch. And it's like, he's in surgery. It's like, oh, how long is that going to take? It's like hours.
But wasn't she already upset though? I could have sworn like
she was kind of because she was like, okay, well, here's the lunch. Yeah, I mentioned to the front desk who I was, and he doesn't talk about me.
He doesn't mention that he's with me.
And then they're like, I don't know.
And then Maddie's the one who brings it up. She's like, wow, and she didn't even bother to bring you lunch.
And it's like at that point, Emma, when she spirals, she tends to call it like it makes her small. And she says she feels herself becoming small. And then Justin just walks in with Chelsea and is like, hey, I made you lunch. I just wanted to see you. I also made Maddie lunch. I remember she's vegetarian. So, you know, yeah. Yeah, I just hope you have a good day. Can I hug you? Like, is that something that's allowed? And I fucking cried. I was so there for that shit.
I thought it was so fucking cute too. I love that he was so nurturing. And even Emma realized it, you know, once she was aware, conscious after being super sick, she thought to herself, like, damn, like, not even my own mother I can count on, but I never had to ask Justin for much, and he's always there for me.
And I think it's during their sick time or when they're getting better. She asks him, like, why did you come? And he's like, because you called. Like, whenever you need me, I will come.
Yeah. No, she literally just said why. She was like, why?
You called. You came. Dude, I'm so fucking there for that shit. I was rooting for them so much. And I was like, something's going to happen. There's going to be a shoe drop of something. I'm not ready for it.
What is it? The 80% breakup? I fucking knew it was coming too.
Okay, well, first, how did you feel after they both got better? They had sex for the first time. I like that this book wasn't very spice driven.
No, her books aren't spice driven.
I love that. It was very like wholesome.
Yeah. It's cute. I don't even think it described it at all. I think it was just kind of like. No,
but it did describe that like mid session. She just started crying.
Yeah.
And he was like, what did I hurt you? I won't do it. Do you want to stop? And she was like, no, I never want to stop. I want to go on forever.
He's like, well, babe, I can't do that.
I can't do that. I can't. I could try, babe. But she was just kind of like, I think I like you more than like. And then that's where he says, like, I like you more than like too.
Wow. They were so beautiful together. Yeah. But let's talk about the ending.
Okay. I do want to say there's a point. I think that's the shift where she just kind of starts spending. Oh, okay. Wait, hold on.
Well, so something was actually brought up in the beginning where Maddie was like, damn, maybe your dad's just out there. Maybe he's just out there and he just doesn't know about you, you know? And she really wanted Emma to input her DNA and like Ancestry, like something
23andMe.
One of those websites. And so she does finally end up doing it. And this is when she finds out that she has a half brother. And there's other like family members that were listed on there. And she was like, who the fuck are these people?
And then it turns out because she calls one of them.
She messages him.
Yeah. And then he gives her the number and then is like, oh my God, Amber's your mom? Like, please, like we need to meet.
Yeah. And so they meet that day because they're both kind of just like in shock. And so she ends up going to his place, which is actually like an hour away?
2 hours away. And when she gets there, she sees photos of the mom and then realizes that the mom was pretty present in his life. And he even said that he had a good life. And then when he was like...
But he wasn't raised by her. He was raised by the grandparents.
Yeah.
So her parents.
When he asked her, like, did you have a good life? She was just like, no. And she just ran out. Well,
she didn't run until she realized she saw like a picture. Let's just say it was 4th of July.
Yeah.
And Daniel was like 8. So she was like, what, 5? I don't remember their age difference. And she was like, oh, that was the time that she left me alone for a really long time.
And the carrots and all of that. And so she was fucking angry. So she goes, she's leaving. Justin's already in the car. Maddie's in the car. She's having a panic attack. And Justin's like, I'm here. What do you want me to do? And she's just like,
I thought it was so cute because he was like, just breathe. Like he was helping her breathe through it.
And so she says, just take me to her. And they go to the boathouse where the mom is staying.
But they stay in the car because they don't want to, intervene.
And this is after the mom has already wrecked this whatever relationship she's been in.
With Neil.
She's been stealing from Neil. She wrecked his boathouse. She's like, he's offered her like therapy, counseling, inpatient services and would be willing to pay for all of it. And she still said no.
And then also she was like painting in the fucking house for a while. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was just like a mural.
And that whole like therapy thing that she said she was doing, she was just seeing like a spiritual advisor on Instagram.
It was so fucking annoying though because oh my gosh, she's so like out of touch. But when Emma was confronting her, she was like, I thought you were better. You said you were going to a therapist and like whatever. And that's when she was just kind of like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, like she tells me about my chart and stuff. I don't know. Like it was something so fucking like stupid.
So Emma says like, you either tell me why you did what you did, like taking that life away from me, or I leave. And then for the first time, her mom had like a face of fear. And then Emma started walking away and the mom's like, Emma, please, Emma, no. And so then Emma turns around, why'd you do it? It's like, because I loved you. And if I gave you to them, they would have taken you away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, if you loved me enough, you would have let me go.
Yeah.
And Emma just leaves. Like she straight up like gets an Uber, gets her luggage, and goes to the airport. And Justin,
because she has a moment of realization where she's thinking, I'm just too damaged. Like I have so much baggage. I'm gonna be just like her. Like I wasn't raised well, I don't know anything about love.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, so she just kind of leaves. And I think Maddie kind of had an idea. She was like, this girl. But she never thought that she would leave her.
Can I say though, I'm gonna speed this along. Maddie ends up going to get her and just kind of goes like, you wouldn't leave me, but like,
no, she knew where she was because she put an air tag in her fucking luggage. And Emma was like, how did you know where I was? Well, I knew that if you would leave me, you wouldn't leave your luggage.
Yeah. But I thought it was really sad because she was like, you're gonna listen to what I'm gonna say, right? And she's like, yeah. Well, would you listen to Justin? She's like, no. Like at that point she was already too far gone in it. And she was like, well, I'm gonna make a decision on where you're gonna go next, and you just have to pay attention to my decision. And she was like, okay. And then she decides, I think, with Maddie that she's gonna have a final goodbye with Justin. And it's really sad because they sit on his couch and he's already like, no.
Yeah, he's already like crying.
This. And she was just like, I just can't do this right now, And I don't know who makes the comment, but one of them is like, if this continues where it's at right now, it's gonna end just like Amber. Like wreck this man.
It was probably her who said that.
Wreck this man and then leave.
Because I think he was willing to just accept her. And then I think he believed that he could just love her through everything.
Yeah, because I think he even made a comment that was kind of like, I can help fix that. And she was like, you can't.
Yeah, you can't fix me.
And so she ends up moving to Wanak, which is where her brother lives. And she lives there for 6 months. So how did you feel about that?
I was kind of torn a little bit. Okay, here's my thing. I do love when people, take some time for themselves, really like heal themselves. 6 months is a long time, but I mean, hey, she went through a lot. My thing is, he didn't know if she was going to come back.
No.
So I wouldn't expect him to wait for her, but he did.
He did. But he didn't wait for her in the way that like he knew it was going to automatically be better, because the first time they see each other after 6 months, it's because Sarah, the sister, gets her period. And because Emma was an emergency contact, she was able to pick her up from school. So when Justin comes home, she's already there. And she's with Chelsea. She's holding Chelsea. And
you said Sarah.
No, Sarah was the one that had the period. So she takes Sarah home.
But Chelsea is the one who basically tells Justin to come, right? Be like, oh,
no, it's Sarah. Because Chelsea has a fever. Remember, she's like holding Chelsea. And Sarah's like, come downstairs.
So
and
they're both going through something, and she's kind of like helping both of them.
Yeah. And so then when they look at each other, Sarah comes in, takes Chelsea, and leaves. And I think Emma mentions like, come sit down. Actually, no, let's go to the kitchen. And it's sad, but it's kind of funny when Justin's like, I swear to God, if we had another sad moment on the couch, that couch would be on fire. Like, I can't deal with that shit again. And he's like refusing to look at her.
Yeah, he's like very cold at this moment. So I was like, damn, she fucked up. But I think it's because he found out that she was so close to him for 6 months. He was like, wow, you were just 2 hours away. Okay.
But then she at the door was like, because he was opening the door for her to leave. And she was like, I just want you to know that I love you. And he had said I love you once, but she wasn't ready then. And she was like, and that me would not have been ready to have this conversation. Like, yes, I have been through things in my life where I run away, but I realize that I don't want to anymore. And that, you want to kick me out, but I'm not leaving until I check on Chelsea. And I wanted to know that I still love you. And and he closes the door and just like spins her and hugs her. And I thought it was really cute because I think Alex comes home at that time. And it's just like, Sarah, come out here. And they're all just looking at both of them, like hugging each other and like sobbing.
Yeah.
I love them so much. Dude. I was also iffy about the whole 6 months. But after that talk, I'm just kind of like, you know what? It does make sense. Because that is, some people sometimes do have to give themselves space in order to be in a better headspace. So
I think she just needed to know for sure that she wasn't like her mom.
Yeah.
That she wasn't just gonna, because her mom just seemed to depend on men and then just spiral for a second.
But their story ended happy because I think the epilogue,
it was so funny.
Proposed to her
in front of the billboard.
Well, with the Toilet King billboard sign, and on it wrote, "Will you marry me?" And it was in an apartment with a lot of lights. And all of his friends were like, "That's a horrible idea." And then one of them even mentioned, like, "Can you at least make the poster a little cuter and like take away the toilet?" And he was like, "No,
that's the highlight." I thought it was so fucking funny, the part where he mentioned like that her two moms, so Maddie's parents, were giving him thumbs up over the proposal idea. But yeah, no, the post was, "Am I the asshole for proposing or for wanting to propose to my 2-year girlfriend in front of the Toilet King billboard, or with the Toilet King billboard behind us?"
Yeah.
He was like, "I just have this whole plan, we're in the apartment, I'm gonna set it up all pretty, and then I'll the billboard will be outside, like in the view." And he was like, "Don't trust me, it's an inside joke, it's an inside thing, she'll get it, she'll laugh." And then he put an edit and was like, "She loved it and she said yes."
Oh, dude.
And then he also mentioned that the mom would be coming back soon, or was back.
Was coming back.
So she was there.
Is she on good behavior?
Yeah, something like that.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What a queen. She made besties. She made friends. She made good connections.
I fucking love that. I
just really want to praise the book for how well it depicted issues with mothers, I guess, or just like PTSD, like how she had to grow up, how she had to help herself, how she like still really wanted that relationship with her mother and would like convince herself like, no, she's changed, she's different this time.
I think it was funny too that like her advice that she had given to Justin, the whole choose empathy over anger, he followed it. He had to for his mom. And I'm not saying she followed the opposite, but she more like, she got angry for herself because she chose herself above forgiving someone for doing something that was fucking horrible.
And I feel like you were right that she kind of had to spiral in order to help herself. But I think that it happened that way because she didn't know how much her mother really fucked her over.
Was horrible, dude.
Yeah, she was.
How do you feel though? Because there was a part where she had mentioned like, "You don't get it. Like, I can't fucking run from this. Like, she's gonna eventually get old and run out of men she can seduce, and then who's gonna have to take care of her then?"
It's hard to process like trauma like this, and especially when it's like with your family, because of course you want to believe that they can one day change. But I knew somebody who kind of went through something similar, but not because she was the mother. And so their child was like good for a long time. And then they kind of just got mixed in with the wrong crowd. And so they really became heavily addicted to different kinds of drugs, but it was to the point where he would just screw over his parents. So he would like take their money, he would like be really aggressive with them, and for a long time the parents were trying to help him. So they were very adamant on being there for their son. And it just got to a point where one day the son kind of just flipped and he ended up hurting the dad. And they kind of just kicked him out and were like, "We don't want to see you anymore." And so to me, it's really sad because the mom would have people tell her, "Hey, we saw your son like just walking around homeless and shit, And And eventually something happened where he was in the hospital, and the parents went and they helped him, and I think he got better. So he's good now. But it was because he was scared, like something happened to him. Yeah. That I'm not sure what happened, but my point with the story is like sometimes you don't get a happy ending though.
Yeah.
You know, like it's I think that is more rare.
Because I mean, even I think this book even mentioned it, like you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's such a sad thing, and you might care a lot. And she even said it, like, I could love my mom, doesn't mean I have to like her. And because of everything she had done, she had offered support, she had offered everything that she could possibly get, and she even got these offers from Neil.
Which was crazy that Neil was so willing to help her.
But if someone isn't willing to accept the help, then why should it be your responsibility to try to help them?
Yeah.
And then with the other way around, with Emma saying like, well, if you cared enough, you would have let go. I hella agree with that.
No, I agree too, because obviously Amber was so unstable. And I think she knew that. Obviously she knew that, because why was Daniel with the grandparents?
Yep.
And she wasn't. And I was it with you? Who did I bring this up with? I don't remember anymore, but there was this one line where it's like, do you love them enough to let them go? And I feel like she didn't love her enough to let her go.
No.
Because she was literally so fucking toxic.
Yep.
And I don't understand how you could literally let your child starve, not feel guilty, and then also not get in trouble.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, but she got what she kind of wanted. Well, not what she wanted, but what she deserved at that point.
Yeah.
Which was, you lost your daughter, who you were trying to hold back, and you lost any support that you have now because you didn't want it. And it sucks wherever she ends up. Kind of like that's where you end up.
That's your issue.
Yeah.
But so I just really appreciate the other themes that this book discussed.
What do you rate it?
I would probably give it, I'm not sure, because when I finished reading it, I was like, oh my God, 5. I love this book so much.
Yeah.
And I still do really love this book. I think right now I will keep it at a 5, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think, because I just finished reading it when you came in. I was like, last page, done.
The end.
I think I would also give it a 5. But it's funny because it's not like a 5. It's like a 5.
She deserves a 5.
I'm gonna recommend this to anyone who's like not a reader.
Yeah, you know I would too. This was such a good book, and I loved their romance. It felt so like genuine and pure and beautiful, and I love that he was always there for her. He was just like a rock.
I want to read her other books now.
Yeah, we should.
Okay, The Improbable Meet Cute. That's our next one.
Well, we shouldn't say that, because anytime Cheli and I say that we're going to review a book, we don't end up reviewing it.
Or we review it like half a year later.
Yeah. So never mind. Don't listen to us. Maybe we'll review it. Who knows?
So anyone who is listening to us in audio form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you could give us a rating of 5 stars and leave us a review on what book you would want us to read next, that would be amazing. Also, if you want to help us, exposure is the best type of exposure is through word of mouth. So please tell your friends, family, loved ones, anyone about us. That would be great. It would be funny if you just all went on Am I the Asshole and just been like, have you all heard of the Book Fix?
That would be really funny.
If you want to support us and you have a little bit of money, what can they do?
So we do have a Patreon. It's a little empty right now, but don't worry, things are coming. If you are interested in supporting us, if you enjoy what we do here, you can find us on patreon.com/bookfix. But if you don't want the commitment of something monthly, you can find us on buymeacoffee.com/thebookfix or ko-fi.com/thebookfix.
If you want to support us, or if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we post every Tuesday and Thursday. If you want to support us on social media, we do have an Instagram and a Threads at The Book Fix Pod, THEBOOKFIXPOD. And we also have a TikTok and a Goodreads at The Book Fix, THEBOOKFIX.
Actually, you've been saying our Goodreads wrong. It's The Book Fix Pod.
It's also?
Uh-huh.
No wonder
we're not getting any hits around here.
Fucking dry as a fucking desert out there. Okay, sorry.
We have been getting a little bit of love.
We had a huge welcome party. It was crazy. You had to be there.
We had like 2 people follow us. Thank you so much. It means the world to us.
Will always think that's funny.
Me too.
I don't even want to explain it. You should watch our end of the year episode from last year. We fucking died. Also, shout out to our Brutal Prince episode where we fucking lost it.
Where we lost it to the point where our audio got fucked up. That was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
That was so funny.
5 stars. Okay, let's go ahead and read reviews. I will read a negative one.
Okay, my Goodreads review comes from Destiny. They gave it 5 out of 5 and they wrote, "Wow, this book gives golden retriever. If he wanted to, he would. MMC and a complex, good-hearted, kind, and layered female main character who, when brought together, make this story magical. The chemistry is something I can almost reach my hand out and feel radiating off of the page. The honesty, communication was so refreshing to see. It was so refreshing to see characters who, whilst setting boundaries and being carefree with each other, also unshamedly sharing feelings with one another. The banter and just silliness that leaves a smile stretched on your face makes the feel-goodness of this book undeniable. As always, Abby Jimenez serves an amazing romance with deeply emotional plot as a side, and the two mixed together in this book made it absolutely incredible."
This comes from Emily, who gave it a 1 star and wrote, "I don't get the point of this book. It spends 7 chapters on a scene where Emma's sick and being nursed by Justin. He proposes to her with a Toilet King billboard. A house gets burned down and everything's okay. And don't get me started on the go get your fucking forehead kiss. Abby Jimenez took that one tweet that went popular about forehead kisses being every girl's dream and ran with it. I don't get how this book has a 4.55 star on Goodreads when all the characters in this book were insufferable and were casted straight from Hallmark or TikTok. I don't get how anyone would ever choose to stay on vacation in Minnesota over Hawaii. If I could give this a negative star, I would."
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Can I read another one?
They took the Hawaii part so fucking personal.
First of all, I want to say one part I liked about the book, and it didn't mention it again, when Lee and Justin's mom were drunk, and they were like, "Okay, drink water, please drink water." And Lee's like, "The thing that sunk the Titanic? No fucking."
That was so fucking funny. She's right though. Why do we drink water? Thank you.
But I want to read another one. We can end it on this. This was a DNF one, but it's 1 out of 5 stars. DNF at 38% because I decided to wake up and smell the carrots.
That's so funny.